So in my hand, I have one of the best budget SSDs you can buy, something you can trust. What is it? Let's get into the video. All right, welcome back to my channel. So what I wanted to do today is talk about a couple things. There's a ton of different budget SSDs out there. If you go to Amazon, I'll be putting some up here as I talk about them. But as you go to Amazon, you can see all these crazy names of SSDs. There's ones that kind of make you laugh. They've been on Linus Tech Tips. There's various ones you can buy that you have never heard of before that are out there. They have the craziest names, and you really have to come and say, can I trust that the quality of that SSD with my data? Is it going to fall apart in a week or two and lose everything? So when you save a couple bucks, is it really worth buying those kind of budget SSDs? If you followed my channel before, you know a couple things. Number one, Inland, I-N-L-A-N-D, SSDs, great drives for the cost. Those are probably my favorite budget SSDs you can buy. I have a bunch of them. I buy the 2.5, just normal SATA SSD drives, work perfectly. I actually boot off some of my Macs. I boot off a NVMe drive that I got from Inland as well, super fast. But what I wanted to do today is show you a name you've probably never heard of before, but it's got really good reviews. It's all over Amazon. It's all over, there's a lot of reviews out there. It's actually called Leven, L-E-V-E-N. And what I'm going to show you today, this is the JS-300. I'm just going to do a kind of a speed test in a second, show you the speed of this, and talk a little bit about this line of hard drives. This line of hard drives, they come from Taiwan, and as far as all the reviews that are out there, I'm going to show you some stuff up here, but the reviews are actually really, really good. If you go to different places like Amazon, just different types of review sites, you're going to see that a lot of the reviews are going to be really high, meaning that they're going to be in the 4 to 5 range out of 5. So when I was looking for a budget SSD drive, I was looking for a name that I could trust, and I did some research. Again, this is from Taiwan, and they do a lot of stuff, and they're not really well known in the United States or Europe, but they do a lot of stuff like in Asia and stuff like that, so they're pretty much more well known out there. And they offer a really high quality SSD drive for the cost. Now there's going to be a couple different lines. This is the JS-300, which is going to be very similar to the JS-600, and those are 2.5 inch. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick screen share. I'm going to show you how much these cost, a little bit about the specs on them, do my speed test, and then show you that they actually also sell, let me see, M.2 SATA drives, they sell M.2 NVMe drive, and then they sell kind of a powerful M.2 NVMe drive that's like 32 to 3600 megabytes per second up read and writes. So this is something you can trust. They're going to be a little bit cheaper than like the Samsungs out there. So if you're looking to save a little bit of bucks, let's get into it. I'm going to show you a little bit about this drive again. It's the Leven JS-300. It's one that I recommend if you're looking for a budget SSD drive that you don't have any idea about, but you can trust. They work great for me, great reviews. I mean, I'm not getting paid by them. They didn't send this to me for free, so I can't, that's all I can tell you is I've used them for a long time, and they work really, really well. All right, so here it is. After you format it to APFS, you get about 127.83 gigabytes total. That's on the drive, so that's a little bit more than it said, actually. And then here we go. So for a speed test, let's go ahead and start this. Just want to show people how fast this is. 428.9 on the writes, and about 506 on the reads. So we can do it one more time just to kind of let you know it's 428, 427.9, and 502, so very consistent. All right, if you go to their website, leven.com, you're going to be able to see the line of SSDs they have here, and they offer a number of them, including the one I'm talking about up here, all the way down to a super ultra fast one, NVMe drive at the bottom. So they have a bunch of different types of drives. So check out their website, but let me just show you on Amazon. The very first one is the one I actually reviewed today. If I go to the 120 gig one, it was only $22.99, so very inexpensive, 23 bucks. 240 gigs in this is about $31, $32, somewhere in there. All the way up to a 960 gig is only $85, so that's a good deal. They have the JS-300, which is the one I reviewed, and then they have the JS-600. There's almost no difference. I looked everywhere. It's just this has like 5% more space, if even that. Like instead of 120, it's 128. And it's only $22.99, same price. So, I would go with this one instead. Again, just 1 terabyte is $86.99. So I would go with maybe the JS-600. Maybe it's just I don't know if it's a newer model. It's exactly the same though, all specs. If you go down the list though, they do have an M.2. This is going to be just a SATA drive. And you can see here, let's say the 480 drive is going to be $51. 960 is going to gigabytes is going to be about $90. And this is only 560 megabytes per second because obviously that's SATA connection. If you go with the next line up, they have NVMe drives M.2, which are a lot faster, obviously. And you can see here for 512, it's about $54.99. And if I scroll all the way down here, you can see, what do they say here? 2100 on the max read speed, 2100 megabytes per second. So that's going to be quite a bit faster. Again, high ratings, again, you can see here. And then finally, the last one is kind of their super fast one. It's actually called LARES. You can see it there. I don't know why they do that, but it's made by Leven. And it's, 512 gig drive here is about $61. But the reason you'd buy this one is the reads are up to 3,400 megabytes per second, and the writes are 2,600. So long story short, it's just that they offer a complete line of drives. Definitely check them out for kind of a, if you wanted to save a little bit of money, but they do last a long time. I've had no issues with them whatsoever. All right, so what do you think? Just this channel is all about learning different things, and I guess I wish people would tell me, with all the different SSDs that are out there on Amazon and stuff, which ones are actually pretty good. And this is one of them. So that's all I wanted to do. I mean, the Leven line, they're from Taiwan, and they just build a quality drive. I have very few failures with them. I use them in a lot of different scenarios. There's a very little difference between their 300 line and 600 line and all their models. It really just comes down to a little bit more capacity. As far as the capacity, I think on the 600s have just a slightly 5% more capacity. Otherwise, everything's exactly the same. So I'm not exactly sure the naming scheme and why they do that. But in long story short, check them out. I mean, you can buy them in bulk. They sell them in bulk, and you get them a little bit cheaper and stuff. So again, Leven since 1996. I hope it helps people if you're looking for kind of a budget drive to try out there just for kind of backups or something. They work really good on Macs and PCs. So at the end of the day, hope it helps everyone, and hopefully you guys can support my channel just by subscribing if you can and clicking the like button on the video. Helps me. I'm going to have some links in Amazon to all these drives as well. If you buy one, I make a small, ridiculously small portion of it, enough to maybe buy a sip of coffee. But at the end of the day, every bit helps me make videos, so I appreciate the help. Talk to you soon. Peace.